Welcome to Home Sweet Halverson. This month we are coming to you from the Gulf of Mexico, where there's currently 12,000 feet of water below me. Look it up. It's true. I looked it up here after they gouged me for internet, but it is true that we are here. Now, Robin, why are we here?
We are celebrating my 40th birthdays on the birthday, not birthdays, on the high seas on Harmony of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, and we've had a wonderful time. There's been a lot of rain. Apparently, Tropical Storm Alberto has been coming through the Caribbean right as we are coming through in the middle of June. Who would have thought? But
early hurricane season, apparently.
Yeah, but in the middle of everything and all of the rain and all of the loss of like beach time, as you would think, it's been a wonderful trip.
Yeah, I've had a really good time. Slept more than I have in a long time, like during the day.
Yeah.
That's been really cool. So that's why we're here. That's what we're doing this month. And so what I really wanted to talk about with our friends here is why is rest and recreation so important for couples to do together?
Yeah, I think one of my mentors told me that recreation is recreation, that you are recreating yourself, that you are giving yourself a chance to breathe, you're giving yourself a chance to think and to process, but also not just like be inside of your heart, but also just enjoy life and enjoy all that you work towards and all that God has given us. And so I think it's very important to have that refresher. And especially as couples, it's important to remember why we love one another in the middle of all the craziness with kids. Sometimes you can get very overwhelmed with just all the day-to-day. And you just need to remember that person that you got married to and the person that you fell in love with. I think we always stay in that place. We're pretty consistent with that. But I do think that it was fun. Like we had a moment yesterday where I was like, yes, this is Jordan that I remember from 13 years ago when we first met. And it was just a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's been a lot of fun reconnecting with you. There's a lot of but I feel like it gave us a reset also. It hit the reset button because you get pulled away out of the day-to-day enough. And sometimes that's not pretty. You get to see the stuff that maybe you've stuffed down. The stuff that you've said, I'll worry about that later, or you've compartmentalized and you're now slow enough in a mindset to think about, circumstances with your family or your kids or your job or some of those disappointments that you were able to push down. They kind of come up. And I think it's really healthy for those to come up because if we're always going 80 miles an hour, we can't stop to at least, I don't think that a week gives you enough time to heal, but at least gets you you get your finger on the pulse of what's going on and all the good stuff that's going on also, like the time that we've had together just to do whatever we want, which includes a lot of sleep, a couple margaritas.
Well, and also I think with kids with special needs, it's very important to take time to rest because the physical tax of having a child with special needs, and then not only that, with us having two, there's a lot. There's transfers, there's treatments, there's lots of different things. And for those people that don't know what a transfer is physically lifting the person from point A to point B. So you do that throughout the day when you have someone with a disability because they need to go to the restroom or they need to lay down or whatever it is. And so we didn't realize how much we had compacted that physical tax.
Yeah.
And how it was so necessary to just literally lay. It was really important
It has been. Yeah.
For this week,
This week it has been just not knowing how tired I really was.
Yeah.
And how I need to take time to rest. Part of that reset is I need to take time to rest during the weekend, like literally rest and do nothing. Because in the week with work and with the kids, we go all the time. And you just get used to that. So that's why I think, and that's kids with our circumstances or not. You are going 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah.
So you've got to give yourself your brain a break.
Yeah.
What do they say in school for the kids?
A brain break.
A brain break. And you got to give yourself a body break.
And I think, too, people like you that have a higher propensity for energy and tasks throughout the day. My energy level slopes in the afternoon, and I tend to be a person that could take a nap in the afternoon and it'd be fine. Jordan, you're not like that. You need to stay high energy all day. And I found that your mom is the same way. Like, I think that's probably something genetically.
Yeah.
You need to do that all the time. But I think it's important not just to stay focused on the tasks, but then to also look at, because when you are someone who is doing tasks throughout the day, you get things checked off your list, but you don't ever take time to look inside of your heart.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's one thing that you've done really well this trip, and I think it's been good. You also have taken up reading. You want to tell about your reading?
Gosh. Well, that's one of mine for the next segment, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I will talk about that.
Okay.
So we can actually transition to that. So your 3 highlights of the trip, and I'll go first since you alluded to it. So I read a full book, folks. Not just like in 6 months or 3 months or in a year, or some of those books that are sitting there that I'm, 3/4 of the way through because I got bored or slowed down or things got busy. But I read an amazing book, and I'll put a picture of it and description of it here because it was like a true story of the creation of the FBI and these mystery murders that were happening in Oklahoma in the 1920s. It was incredible. But the fact is I was able to escape from those concerns and those worries from just my mind sitting there and just escaping into this story, which is so cool. And like you said, my mind is going all the time. So to be able to just dive into this book was amazing for me.
Well, and I think with social media and with technology so at our grasp, it's important for us as humans to step away from that.
Is that what we are?
Yes, we are humans, for Homo sapiens.
Yes, we are.
To step away from that and to let our brains, that also is a reset every day. And so I think the imagination of reading and the just the slow pace of it. I find that when I read, I pass the smaller amount of time can be just as impactful and restful. Like 15 minutes can be just as impactful and restful as if I'm scrolling through my phone on Instagram for 45 minutes. That 15 minutes can be more impactful and more restful for me when I read. And so
I can see that.
I think that just has to do with our brains and the way that we're wired.
Yeah, because you're not resting on the phone. Your eye is constantly scanning for the next piece of information you're going to read.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you go in 20 different directions because there's 300 apps on your phone. Yeah. You don't realize how many are on there. Yeah. But there's just everything you could possibly want is right there. All the information. I'm looking and seeing where a cruise ship, even on here, I had a difficult time sometimes because I would I would find out where our ship was. And then I'd go look over here and look at this ship. Oh, and look at this ship. And this one's over here. And so I had to really no, I need to read my book. What am I doing? Or watching that tropical storm. But yeah, it was a good break from the phone. I imagine my screen time thing is going to be like
way down.
Yeah, on Sunday morning it's going to be like.
Well, I didn't have any internet access, so I had to.
You had nothing. And
it was nice.
Yeah, because we could only get one device without paying, your electric bill. So that was my number one, is just rediscovering the rest that reading can bring. What about your number one?
Gosh, my number one highlight of the trip was, and it's not ranking in order, it's just
right, exactly.
a thought.
I was about to say.
Yeah. My number one was our trip to Honduras. We went we were in a little bay.
Turquoise Bay.
It was very quiet, and it was a wonderful beach, and it was just kind of a little nook. And then we took a boat out to go snorkeling. And Honduras has the second largest, well, specifically Roatan, has the second largest coral reef in the world, second to the Great Barrier Reef. And so we got to go and see this magnificent reef with all the coral and all the life that sustains in the ocean. And like I've watched documentaries about coral reefs and their significance. Yeah. And you just see it when you're there. You see how beautiful the wildlife is, the fish, the movement of the reef and the coral. It was just gorgeous. And I just really enjoyed that time. And then specifically, that was the only day that we got to be like on the beach. And so I got to put my feet in the sand, and we forgot our towels. So we just had to drip dry, but it worked. And it was a wonderful time. And it was in the heart of Roatan, and we got to drive through and also see the way the Hondurans are living and all that stuff. And it was a very, it gave a lot of perspective that day.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Yeah, especially driving to our destination, as I believe you were mentioning, it made me super grateful also, driving from that port in through that country, and a lot of really big differences between an island like that and the country, like in our country that we live in. Just a lot of differences. Gives you, like you said, perspective, and then you saw more wildlife around the barrier reef than I did. I was sitting there trying not to let the life jacket was trying to strangle me while I was swimming. And
I am more at ease in the water. I was
were
a lifeguard.
I know. I think we mentioned that before. But yeah, you did great. And once I got used to it, it was a little bit easier. But that was right when they blew the whistle and told us to get back in. But honestly, I was relieved. My second snorkeling experience on this trip, the water was a little bit calmer, and that was a little bit easier for me. So yeah, that was fun. But like you said, seeing an actual coral reef, like seeing all that stuff that we've seen in documentaries since we were 5.
Yeah.
Like seeing it in person is a totally different experience.
And I thought I would be really freaked out going into the water and looking, but it's pretty shallow all the way around.
6 feet deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you know that the deep, dark ocean's out there, but you can't see it. And so that was okay.
That was pretty cool. That was a great experience. I knew we had to do that. We had to go snorkel. So scuba next?
Yeah.
Or
no,
stay at
I don't want to do
snorkeling?
scuba.
You
No.
don't do scuba?
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jury's still out on that one. But I've never had so much salt water in all my life that day.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2 was, it could be sung to you, actually. And the dolphins make me cry. We went, that was Hootie and the Blowfish. Only want to be with you. Yeah, so we went to Dolphinaris in Cozumel, Mexico, and I did not want to do this. I was a little apprehensive to swim with dolphins, but because they're big, strong creatures.
It was my little girl birthday wish.
It was, and it was my little girl birthday wish too, apparently, because I loved it. We got down there. They kissed us. The little dolphins kissed us. I'll put some pictures in here of the kiss, and then we got to pat their bellies, and
we got to ride them.
Well, I was going to get to that. And then they call you out, and they show you the signal. It's like you put your little fin out there. You swim way out, like 10 yards out. And then she sends the dolphin to you. But the dolphin doesn't just like casually come to you. It jumps out of the water and then starts coming at you. And a dolphin is probably 300 pounds and 9 feet long. And when it's coming at you, you know it's friendly and you know it's trained, but it is like exhilarating. Your heart starts pumping. And then it comes around your left side, flips on its belly, and hands you a flipper. And you grab one flipper, grab the other, and it swims on its back, carrying you all the way to bliss. And it is fantastic. Then it drops you off before you know it. You've got salt water in your mouth, but you just had an amazing time. So I get off of this dolphin, and I go back over to the little shelf that's like 3 or 4 feet deep. And I know there's more dolphin stuff to come, but I literally started crying. I was like, it reminded me of when I was a kid at SeaWorld in San Antonio. And my favorite, we saw a dolphin show, and I thought, wow, those animals are so like warm and inviting and just sweet and intelligent. And I remember I looked at this dolphin in the eye, and I was just like, I just started crying. I was like, this is such a sweet moment. And the Lord provides us with such moments like that, especially with his creation, whether it's on top of the mountain or it's in the ocean and with one of these majestic creatures. I mean, they're up there with like a horse and a lion as far as majestic animals. They're
100%.
Absolutely. And then they look at you right in the eye, and you can tell there's life behind that eyeball. It's so crazy. It's not like so many creatures in the sea are just cold and it doesn't look like anybody's home, right? But you can tell that this creature's like intelligent and wondering about you. And then remember, it was like following you around. But yeah, the last thing I'll say about it is I was standing there and they were letting some little boy pet the belly, and this dolphin, Olympia, came over to me again and just pushed her little bottle nose up against my hand and just rested it there. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? These are literally the puppy dogs of the sea.
Yes.
And they are so sweet. And that was my number one moment of this whole trip. It made my year. So that was really cool.
It really probably was my number one moment too.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you the opportunity to share it.
Because the dolphins make me cry.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was absolutely amazing. And just a dream come true as a little kid. I want to swim with dolphins one day. Just being able to do that was amazing. I want to do it again, and like every day. So
yeah, it was that fun.
So my number 2 was the day before. Mm-hmm. The day before Alberto
and Poseidon. They've kind of calmed down today, though.
Yeah, it's real calm now.
Yeah,
we actually had some sun.
Yeah,
and 100 degrees up on the top deck, but they had to cancel our port to Costa Maya because the waves were crashing over the dock and it was too dangerous to get out of the ship. And we have 6,000 people in a ship here at Harmony of the Seas, so that would have been a lot of liability.
Yeah.
Right? So they said, well, we're just going to have a sea day. We're going to have lots of activities and things like that. And Jordan and I had gotten dressed. So we went down and we got breakfast and we were like, what do you want to do? We both looked at each other. We're like, let's go back to bed. And so we came back and we spent the entire day until dinner reading and napping. I think that was the day that we took a 3-hour nap.
Yeah, it was a 3-hour nap.
It was so good for my heart, for my physical body. Because then I got up that evening and I was like, I'm ready to party. Let's go. And like we stayed up probably, I think, too late that night. But
till 11.
Till 11. Because they have a lot more activities happening at night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Some of these people are crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Push themselves way too hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just got that rest and it was absolutely amazing. I think that's what the beauty of this trip has been, is that we get to set our own schedule and we get to decide what we want to do and what we don't want to do. And of course, FOMO, there's a constant cruise director that's coming on and telling you all the things that are going to be happening. And you're like,
don't miss it.
And you're like, I gotta figure out what I want to do and what I don't want to do, because the FOMO is like, I feel like I have to go to everything.
Yep.
But we don't feel like we have to do that. It's just been this really great trip for us to get that additional time to rest. So that was a highlight day for me, for sure.
That was really, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, so I guess the third for me has been like the food. Mm-hmm. It's been, oh my gosh, I am, if not 10 pounds heavier than I was when I got on the ship.
Yes.
They must calculate that when they determine how many people are going to let on here. So you're going to have 5,000 people at their current weight. And then they're going to add 5 or 10 pounds more as they get on there. But, I mean, really, a lot of the food has been we had Johnny Rockets today. We had...
Don't talk about...
Yeah.
Because that's my third one, too.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it is. Okay. Well, it's just been... The food is just... It's part of the rest factor, right? Mm-hmm. And there's 20 different options. Talk about FOMO. Mm-hmm. I haven't got to go there yet. There's like a hot dog place at the boardwalk. And I'm like... I'm not even sure I love hot dogs, but I want to try the hot dog. Like it's a Chicago style or a New York dog, or it's just been, the food has been really great. And so that's one thing. And I don't want to take too much away from it, but just the people that are on this ship, then I'll kind of steer that direction, have been like, these are really hardworking people that take their jobs seriously, no matter if they're working at the burger place or the dining room or whatever it is. They work their butts off, and you can tell like there's a higher level, higher standard just on a ship, and everyone's grateful to be here and to be working and to keep great attitudes until day 7, when you know there's some jerks on this ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some demanding people, which we've encountered. That's been interesting. Just the entitled attitude some people have, but yeah, we just try to be. I think we try to be courteous to everyone and super polite.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, this is their life. We're about to get off tomorrow. These people meet a whole new group of strangers tomorrow, which I was thinking about that today. That's a lot. But kudos to you guys and gals because you're killing it out there. And I know that it's not always easy.
So my number 3 was last night. We went to Azumu Sushi.
Oh my gosh.
Azumi Sushi.
Sounds right.
And Shogun. And we got to go have hibachi. And it was outstanding. Such a great show. So much fun. And the food was
Even
the
the
best.
rice.
The rice. I mean, it was the best food that we have had on this ship.
Yeah,
And so
I agree.
I loved that. And of course, like we've had tropical drinks and we've had all the fun stuff that you have on a trip and all the desserts. Every single meal comes with a dessert. So
Part of the 10 pounds.
yeah, it was so fun. Yeah.
More cobblers, sir.
Yes.
You can
yes.
order as many appetizers as you want, as many desserts.
I literally
Like,
ordered shrimp cocktail, like 2 of them every single night.
You just, like, it's crazy. You have to practice self-control or you
Yeah.
would just, like, be sick. I
Yeah.
think it's crazy. But yeah, it's been an amazing trip. But one other thing I wanted to touch on, I think we both enjoyed, like the entertainment,
Yeah.
the shows.
Oh,
they have
yeah.
like Broadway shows on board while the thing is moving. The boat is moving, and some of these nights it was rocking. Like,
We just saw one today.
Yeah.
We saw Columbus, and they had a giant ship as a prop in the middle of the stage. It was amazing.
it's the biggest prop on any ship in the world.
Yeah.
They said. Which is crazy. The thing's, I don't know, 20 feet long. It's in the middle, and the stage is part of the stage going up and down and all that. And then the ice skating show on.
Which we're going to go see again tonight.
Another one.
Another one.
But these people are incredible. They're doing like triple sow cows. I think I pronounced that correctly. On ice while a ship is moving, and it's rocking pretty good in the middle of the Gulf.
And the water show. They've had to cancel a few times because of all the rain. But we got to go to see that a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
And they dive from 55 feet
55
while the
feet.
ship is moving into a tiny little pool. It's insane.
It is insane. It is insane.
Yeah.
And everything is so clean. Like I was telling Robin, I was on the track this morning and I was just going around and this guy came around and was polishing the wood rails. That's how much care is paid attention on this ship. It's insane, but I think they know that people have expectations of coming on and it being clean because people pay a good amount of money to be here.
Yeah.
So anyways, any closing thoughts?
I'm just very glad that we took this time away
Yeah.
from the kiddos as much as the kids want to be with us and we want to be with them and we
Yeah.
miss them so
And we
much.
got to FaceTime a couple times.
We did.
Yeah.
But I think that that's so good. I think it's good for our hearts. It's good for our connection. It's good for just our physical bodies to just let down.
Yeah.
And so we just encourage all of you, if you are, maybe you don't have the resources to go on a big vacation, either way, find time to, even if it's just to go sit like we do on our back porch at the end of the day, find time to recreate with one another as a couple, because I do think that it is one of the pillars of a healthy marriage is a
Yeah.
couple that plays together, because when you are able to enjoy one another, then you're able to enjoy all the other aspects of marriage even more, you know?
I agree.
So-
100%. Well
Yeah.
said.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't just need time away from your whole family and your spouse. That doesn't breed connection. But doing things that you love to do and have fun doing, do that the most. Make that your priority, even beyond doing things for yourself or by yourself. So
Yeah.
that's huge. But anyways, guys, anything else?
We're going to go recreate a little bit more. We got a nice show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got the end of the night.
Yes.
A couple of tropical drinks to have.
And then back to life.
back to
Reality.
reality.
Yeah, it's true.